I wasn't into RCs as a child, so I missed a lot of the vintage models that a lot of guys are talking about. This happens to be one of those models. I plan to do as many of these vintage models as I can. Of course, the re-releases, because the old ones obviously aren't so readily available. This is one of the old models that I've always wanted to build. I've already built a lunchbox and a CC01, and I've always wanted to build this Brat. I just like the body style of it, and it's got a different chassis than I'm accustomed to, so looking forward to kind of getting into this and seeing what kind of old school nostalgia I can bring up, see how things kind of were. Of course, this is a re-release. This has been edited just a little bit, but it still has most of the feel of the old RC. So let me get it open and see what's inside, as it's all new to me. So I pulled the initial plastic off already, just because it's putting off a pretty nasty glare. This is a 110 off-road two-wheel drive vehicle from Tamiya. Here you can see a little bit of the chassis, a little bit of different chassis than I've built with Tamiya. This one comes with the ESC and also a motor, although I don't see anything denoting that it comes with a motor. The other Tamiya kits that I've built, same deal, but they do have a motor in them. We'll see very shortly if this one has in there. The little information on the package does not say anything about motor, so I may have to get a motor for this. We'll see very shortly. There are two bodies in here, the polycarbonate and also a resin body. So the resin body is a little bit more realistic, and it should have a little bit more detail to it. So go ahead and pull the top off. So it's laid out as well as any Tamiya kit that I've seen. Some Tamiya kits look a little better than this, but not bad at all compared to the way you get some kits. And right on the top is the speed control. This is a TEU Tamiya speed control, brushless. Comes with the Molex connectors, the old school connectors on there. Switch that out for the connector of your choice, or use that one if that's what kind of connectors you use. Does not come with the battery, so you have to adjust your connector to fit your battery. That speed control works pretty good. Haven't had any complaints with it in my lunchbox. It comes with a couple of Tamiya models that I own. Not bad. Can't say anything bad about it. So right up top we have the two bodies. Right on top of the resin body we have the polycarbonate body. Outside skin, so you can't overpaint it. Fairly detailed. No Subaru signage or anything. Pretty plain plastic body, no bed. You paint it to your own fashion. Under that polycarbonate body we have the resin body, which is pretty detailed. As I pull it out right off the back and see four-wheel drive signage, a little bit of Subaru signage there. No front end and no rear. They get attached later, so I might have to do a little bit of sanding to clean those lines up. Looks like you get a separate roof panel. Windows are separate. Not sure what's going on here, but that's an empty space. I know the Subaru Brat was a little odd in the fact that it had two seats sitting in the back facing rear. I do not see a place to mount those two seats, and the box art does not denote the two seats, so that may be something I'll have to look into on my own, but we'll see how it goes as I look through the kit. Underneath those bodies is the beginning of my parts. These are transmission parts, or having something to do with the transmission. I recognize the kind of the gear casing. I believe this goes in with the motor somehow, but of course we'll figure that out. Those something to do with the wheels, I believe. Those are my hubs where I attach my tires and wheels, so set that aside. And underneath that is the manual, but I'll pull that out when I get through this. So there's the rear panel and the front panel that I spoke of. along with the male driver, little silhouette that you paint up to your liking, and his body is there, along with, looks like a little mounting post for his head, a couple spacers for unknown reason. His hands are set for the steering wheel, which I'm assuming is in the kit somewhere. Set that aside. My windows for the resin body. Those are the roof panels, tinted very darkly. Here's my wheels. Just look like 3-piece wheels. You could screw it together, so that's good, so I don't have to glue my wheels on. I may be making incorrect assumptions here, but it looks like a sort of a beadlock style sort of wheel. I haven't seen these, so see as I go through the kit. This bag just contains the wheel parts. Yeah, here we have what looks like a front bumper, just kind of sitting in there. Brown plastic for the chassis. I'm sure this must be a different strength or whatever, but I know this is the chassis frame just from looking at the pictures on the box, and when I was doing my research before I actually bought the kit. That's the outer chassis, one side and the other, along with a few other parts on there. I see kind of the on-off switch going on there, and a couple other parts there. Looks like these may be needed to paint or possibly dye. I'm not sure. I'll have to look into that. Okay, here we have the Servo Savers. Looks like more servo parts. Not sure what else is in this bag. Couple of pretty hard tires. I'm not expecting the softest. This is not a crawler by any means. Seem to have a decent tread on there. Get those mounted on those wheels. And just one more bag of parts. Weird plastic part with metal through it. Not exactly sure what that's for, but as I've said with the other stuff, I'll see very shortly. And looks like we have another sort of bumper or something here. Right there. But set that aside, and we have a box. This box typically contains screws and that sort of thing. So go ahead and open that up. See what we have. So yeah, we have small parts, screws with Phillips heads on them, of course, which is a standard for Tamiya. We'll not be changing those. This won't be run pretty hard. These screws aren't bad. They just not the best for maintenance, and the heads seem to wear out a little faster than hexes do. But screws are screws, so a little bit of plastic parts in here. Gears, shot pieces, dampers as Tamiya calls them, transmission parts or something of the sort, a couple braces in there, a few odd parts that I'm not sure what they are, but these are all metal parts. More gears and things. Looks like some dog bones in there. I was told this kit came with bearings. I see some bearings, but I also see a little plastic bearings, bushings in there, so I'm going to have to get those replaced because I do not install bushings. The motor that I didn't see, I finally find in the bottom of this box. This one has a name. I've never seen a name on any of the kits that I've built, but they call this one Mabuchi 540 SH, and from what I understand, this is a standard Tamiya motor. So, also in there we have more screws, a little bag of lube, some covers, a couple mount pieces, just a few odds and ends, more screws, more random pieces. Can't really say what these are at this moment. A couple springs and assorted odds and ends. All these bags are marked so that the manual can reference them. This is bag B, and the manual will call out for bag B when it's time. And the last bag, part C, more tiny screws. That finishes that box. And the last thing in here is the manual for the Brat. Typical Tamiya manual, very clear instructions. Never have too much problems with the Tamiya manual. Every once in a while there's some translation problems with Tamiya manual, but not too much to complain about. They do a pretty good job. And my decal kit with the original old school Subaru signage for the Brat. Subaru logos, four-wheel drive logos, Tamiya logos. Yeah. So those are the stickers, and that's everything in the kit. So as I normally do, I get this stuff back in this where it goes, so I can have a clean build, like everything organized as I'm building. Big stickler on pulling parts out as I need them, and not before. Also in the bottom of the box is one long rod. Not sure what that's for, but I'll just want to show that that's in the box. Another instruction or important information. So I'll read this very carefully. So that's about everything in the Subaru Brat box. We'll go ahead and get it repackaged. And as I said, I'll get these parts out as I need them. Looking forward to building this one. It looks pretty simple. Not a whole lot to it, as with a couple of the other vintage style Tamiya kits. So this one should go together pretty easy. Everything back in here. Body's back. And figure out what kind of paint I want on this thing. So that's a Subaru Tamiya Brat. Tamiya Subaru Brat. I'm going to stop talking about this thing so I can start getting built.